Welcome. Come on in and find a seat, soldiers. So now, I will preface this now. Now, if you don't want to be spoiled or anything, then please get on out of here. Here. And with that out of the way, hey, let's get started with the debriefing of the game named Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. It was a it was a nice, funny, and short animated hack and slash game developed originally by Grasshopper Manufacturer, but the original publisher, Dragami Games Ltd., took over developing this remastered version. And I may mention a few of the changes they made if they are relevant. It also became available to all platforms December 20th, 2024. Now remember, when I do these debriefings, there are four main criteria I look at: uh, visuals and graphics, audio soundtrack, story, and gameplay. And each of those criteria start out at 5 out of 10, but can go up or down due to various conditions I will go over as we hit each section. At the end, I will give my final thoughts and the average total score of the game. Well, with that said, let's pop on over to the first criteria: visual slash graphics. The first condition in this area is how unique the designs are, which there are a ton of various costumes for Juliet to wear. Besides the basic enemies looking, well, basic, the tougher ones were distinguishable, and the bosses especially had unique designs. Not to mention all the levels had their own unique and appropriate designs as well. The next condition we're going over is the ability to tell what and where things are. So besides a few awkward camera moments, and- but you can easily tell where things are, uh, and even and if you miss stuff, at miss stuff, all the levels are pretty short, so it's not much of a hassle to replay a level to collect things. The final good condition of this area is how good does it look? With the art style they chose, which is like old school comics with bright, vibrant colors, I really believe they made everything pop uh, in all the best ways. Now, normally, if there were any bugs, I'd be marking it down here. But since there wasn't any, eh, but there wasn't any. eh, So in this area, um, it got a 9.5 out of 10. The second criteria is the audio slash soundtrack. The first part of this section is the quality of the voice acting, which was overall really good. But I do wish they gave Nick some more lines in the boss fights due to the fact that he tends to repeat about the same half dozen lines, which gets really annoying if you're going after some of the achievements. On to the next condition, which is the quality of audio cues, which from the lightning in the second chapter to even the kiss that Juliet gives Nick during the Nick roulette. They sounded great and were on time. Um, The final condition that increased the score is how good the soundtrack is, which, given the fact that it had music from about five distinct subgenres of rock and some nice pop tracks, you're bound to find something you like. And if you're a content creator, then you'll like the fact that it has a streamer mode, so you won't be getting hit with any copyright strikes. Mm, There also weren't any bugs that I noticed in this area, so I'll give this section 9 out of 10. Now, let's get started with the third criteria, which is the story. Mm, The first condition here is how engaging is it? Which between each character's little info card and the dialogue, uh, I think it's engaging enough for at least a couple playthroughs. The next condition in this area is how unique the story is. Despite the fact that Buffy was a high school girl fighting monsters, I don't believe she had a family quite as interesting as Juliet does. Nor do I think I have seen anything else where you fight zombies that embody the musical subgenres. The third condition here is, how is the world building? Besides wondering why there's an arcade in the shape of a massive arcade cabinet, and why the world doesn't know about the supernatural if there are people with 40 plus years in the business, it explains everything, yeah, well enough, in my opinion, honestly. Now, the final part in this section is the ease of knowing what to do and where to go. And since each level, well, is straightforward and you can't backtrack, you always know where you're going, and it explains well enough what you need to do. So I believe the story criteria should get a 9.5 out of 10. Now, on to the final criteria of this debriefing in the gameplay. The first thing we're going to talk about in this criteria is how engaging the gameplay is. With all the various moves you can do, the handful of mini games it has, and the frequent but easy quick time events, it always held my attention. Now, going along with the previous condition, the next one is how unique the gameplay is. And all I have to say here is that I've never played a game where my chainsaw could become a minigun, where I kick zombie ass with cheerleading moves, or use the decapitated head of my boyfriend for various things like I did in this game. Moving on to the next condition, being how is the UI? Overall, the UI wasn't bad. Besides spending about 2 minutes moving the Nick Roulette command, because I kept on pressing it by accident. Mm, mm. And I will admit, I might have missed it, eh, but I didn't explain how to chainsaw dash. But it only took a moment to figure out. Oh, next condition is the difficulty, and but the difficulty wasn't bad or normal. Oh, it didn't affect the score, uh, like, at all. Oh, now, if you want more of a challenge, there are time trials and harder difficulties. This time during this debriefing, we have a condition affected the score pretty negatively, which is the amount of bugs of the gameplay here. The bugs in question are going out of bounds on Chapter Two's boss fight and having to restart the fight from the checkpoint, which overall wasn't that bad, mm, as well as on the final boss, where apparently if you do too much damage and too quickly, it has a chance to get stuck in an idle pose, in which it happened twice. The first time, I restarted to the checkpoint, mm, and the second time, I restarted the level. What makes this bug in particular worse is the fact that it was a known issue from the original game. With all that said, I think the gameplay does deserve a 7 out of 10. Now, I do believe it's about time we wrap up this debriefing. I overall enjoyed this game. Mm, The visuals, both audio and story were all great, but the gameplay, it has some major boss related bugs. I would recommend it if you're looking for a short, comical hack and slash game. Mm, So, all in all, I'll give Lollipop Chainsaw uh, a 8.75 out of 10 medals. And with all that said and done, soldiers, you're dismissed. I would thank all y'all for watching this shit show. Like what you saw, then you're more than welcome to hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, you can follow me on my Twitch channel. Stay up to date whenever I go live. Or posting the new content. Hit those bell icons. Join my Discord. And follow me on my X/Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm also sponsored by W Energy, which is a powdered energy drink company that doesn't leave you with any crashes or jitters. And let's not forget that it tastes good too. Here, if you'd like to save 10% off on your order, you can use my code KCMing10 at checkout, save 10% off. Well, all the links will be in my link tree in the description. And finally, since I'm new to posting on here, if you want to give me any tips, be very much appreciated. With all that said, with much love to you, I hope to catch y'all later. Bye.